Welcome to the funeral of Michigan basketball. I listened back to the preview before we recorded this today, Cart. It's Sunday. It's New Year's Eve, by the way. Celebrations underway. This should be a happy affair for everyone involved. I listened back to our preview, and we said this isn't even a must-win game anymore because there's been enough must-win games for Michigan. This is a if they lose game, pack it up, the season's over. That's what we both said. We both agreed on that. And then we got to the point of the video where we predict who wins the game. You know what we did? We both predicted McNeese to win the game. You know what happened? McNeese came out and won the game. Will Wade's boys were the better team from start to finish. There's no doubt about it. This wasn't an upset. This was McNeese just dominating Michigan. It could have been uglier. It should have been uglier, quite frankly. If you go through the numbers of this, like the shots that McNeese got at the rim from three-point range versus the shots that Michigan did, the turnovers for Michigan that McNeese just didn't have, this should have been a 20 to 30 point win for McNeese. And instead, it wasn't. The score makes it look a little closer than it really should have been. And this is a Michigan program now that has nowhere left to turn. They are 6-7. All hopes of the postseason, by all realistic possibility, are done. And there's rumors this is going to get worse. And we'll speak to the rumors later on this video. If you haven't heard the rumors of what's hanging over Michigan's head, referring specifically to Dug McDaniel, we'll talk about those before this video ends. But Cart, first of all, what did you see in Michigan's 87-76 loss at home to McNeese State?
You kind of summed it all up. You saw the better team, the better basketball team win this game. And it was never in doubt. McNeese State dominated from start to finish. Shahada Wells is a dog. And, a game that I'm not necessarily saying Michigan should have got because obviously they got outplayed, but it would have been nice to have a win as you go into the second semester of school with a fresh slate as you attack the new school year. And unfortunately, Michigan's not going to have that. So I don't know where they go from here. Things are going to get worse too, by the way. Like there is no light at the end of set tunnel. Tunnel is one of the one-sided tunnels. It's like the Looney Tunes with the coyote or whatever it was, where they do the fake tunnels. There is no tunnel there. There is no light at the end of the tunnel. Michigan's basketball season is over. And, we've done the whole program comparison to other programs. This Michigan basketball program needs a reset. They need one. Like Michigan State's football program got a reset. We don't know what that's going to lead to, but it was a reset that was needed. And I think that this Michigan basketball program needs just a complete start over reset.
Yeah, so for the record, I agree with you. I'm sick to my stomach, truly, that Michigan State beat Indiana State. Because when Indiana State had a 5-point lead on y'all with like 7 minutes left, I had the standing screenshot ready to go. And I had the tweet drafted up that said, "You're right. These results are unacceptable. It's time to make a coaching change." With Michigan State sitting at 0-2 in the Big Ten with one less loss than Michigan has. I was ready. That was ready to go. Let's just be clear. The margins are not that far off from how great your team that's won 4 straight suddenly looks. With that said, yeah, it's time to make a change. The Jawan Howard era is over as far as I'm concerned. I think it's not just speculation anymore. It's not just hope. It's accurate at this point. I don't see how they can continue with him. I think the entire fan base is out on him. If the administration isn't out on him, they're dumber than I think they are. And trust me, I think they're extremely dumb. But this basketball program may win 12 to 13 games max this season. They've got 6 wins under their belt. Big Ten play is going to be an absolute grind. Their projected record currently is 13-18, according to KenPom, and that includes an 8-12 finish. Like if they go 8-12 in Big Ten play, they're going to finish 13-18. Like that's an optimistic outlook on the season at this point for me. And look, say what you want about the roster, say what you want about certain guys. I'll say this. I think there are serious issues, clearly. I don't know if this is a tournament roster on paper. There's talent on this roster in spots. To me, Terrace Reed and Amari Burnett should be way better than they are right now, especially defensively. They're not. Terrace Reed's a disaster. He had 0 points and 4 fouls in this game in 22 minutes. And we've talked about how bad Terrace has been, but this is worse than any of us expected. And we're into, the new year at this point. And Terrace Reed is unplayable. You have nothing on your bench. We didn't know if you're going to have anything on your bench or not, but Yusuf Kayat, people lied to us about him. George Washington, he's not ready. People tried to tell us that George Washington made the difference in the Marquette scrimmage. Bullshit. Trey Jackson is the same guy he's been. Will Cheddar got better, but he's Will Cheddar. He doesn't move the needle. So, like, I don't know. It's going to get ugly. This is the lowest I've felt as a fan. This is the lowest I felt as a fan with Michigan basketball in my life. And there have clearly been low moments in my life. I mean, I grew up trying to root for this program in the Tommy Amaker era. And this feels worse to me because in the Amaker era, at least I didn't know what success felt like. And I didn't have any weird expectation that like Lester Abram was going to take us to the NCAA tournament, right? Like this team to me gave you a taste of what Doug McDaniel could be if there was competence on the sideline, if there was a roster that didn't try to add Caleb Love all summer, instead added other pieces around him. So I feel bad for Michigan fans. I feel bad for myself, quite frankly. And this is going to get extremely, extremely ugly, even if the rumors aren't true. But the thing is, the rumors might be true. Do you want to take the first stab at the rumors here? Or do you want me to?
I'm gonna let you do it, but I also want to state this, that, you know, the phrase like it couldn't get any worse. If this rumor is true, it will get so astronomically worse, you won't be able to actually fathom it.
So here's the rumor. Again, we've gone through this in the past with dicey situations. We've said we're not a rumor-based podcast. We wait for news to break for the most part, and we're not newsbreakers either. Like we obviously have a comedic tone to this, but we usually don't come on these shows to like have a scoop. This is a rumor that made its way into my ears, I think Thursday or Friday. I believe the day that I was made aware of this, a lot of people were made aware of this from a variety of sources. I had 4 different people call me about this from 4 different disconnected elements of my life. Like people that don't talk to each other each called me with the same rumor. So I don't know where this originated, but I know it's a rumor, right? It's a real rumor that Doug McDaniel is going to be academically ineligible for the second half of the season. What I was told from all of the people that called me on this was that it's a done deal. The staff was made aware this week, and the semester's over. Like he did not make grades, and he can't play starting January 9th, is what I was told. I have a lot of thoughts on this. I will add this, depending on who you talk to, there's some gray area. There's a reason nobody has reported this yet, even though everybody knows about it. There's a reason nobody has publicly reported this yet, and it sounds like there's an appeals process underway. What the appeals process looks like, I have no idea. I don't even know if it's a formal appeal, more so than it's like Doug with a specific teacher being told you have a week to do some extra work. I think that's what's happening here. I don't want to name names on the source stuff, but like the only person that's outwardly putting anything into publication on this is Trilly Donovan. We love Trilly. We're fans of him. He's got his Burner Ball site right now. If you are a paid subscriber to that site, you can read more of his updates. His updates map with the updates I've gotten privately from other sources. So at this point, given Trilly's track record, given the people I've talked to's track record, I believe this is a real situation. And I don't know if it's for sure going to mean he's gone or he's done. But I know as of right now on New Year's Eve, Doug has like a last minute buzzer beater heave at trying to keep himself eligible for the season. So why don't we throw it to you just so I can collect my thoughts for a second? But what would this do to Michigan's team? And in general, how stupid is this of Doug in general? Like, is this on him? Is this on Jawan? Who's it on?
So for Michigan basketball, just straight up point blank, it's absolutely it's the last death blow to rock bottom, which is right now. It's like you're at rock bottom, one more quick little sucker punch to really just let you know you're at rock bottom and kick you while you're down. And I'll start with this and I'll lead with this. We don't know what Doug McDaniel's going through, and to be honest with you, in some of these situations, kids are going through things where like school is the last thing on their mind. And it happens all the time. So if that is the situation, then there's other things that need to be spoken about on it, and I feel for Doug McDaniel, but I'm gonna approach this and speak on it as basically Doug himself. Nothing's going on. He just didn't pass class or something like that. And in that realm, there's two things you need to speak about. One, Doug McDaniel, the person. You got to do whatever you can to be eligible and do what has to be done to be a member of the basketball team, man. It's, you know what? And I get it. It's school. Not everyone likes school. Not everyone wants to do class, do school, whatever Cardale Jones said. You just go to class. Just log in. Just log in and fill out the discussion post. Like, it cannot be that hard to remain eligible, to be honest with you. And speaking on my basketball, like the things I went through in the past, and I wasn't a Division I athlete either, but it was very easy to pass a class if you just showed up. If you showed up more times than not, the teacher would give you the benefit of the doubt. You could just sit there. But if you show up, you will probably pass the class, to be honest with you, or the teacher will assist you, or someone will help you in passing the class. So it is unacceptable that Doug McDaniel is not eligible. But I put about 20% on Doug McDaniel, and I'm sorry if I'm letting him off the hook, but this goes back to Jawan Howard and the basketball program and everyone in the staff surrounded by this. How in the hell do you let your best star player not be eligible? Why do you not take every step to make sure this player is not eligible? I lean on this story. There was my good friend Amir Williams, and I'm not going to name the player on Ohio State just to protect his, anonymity, whatever it is.
Am I allowed to guess the player?
I'll let you guess the player. Yeah, if you guess it on the first try, I'll say it is.
Okay, great, thanks.
Do you want to guess?
Not yet.
Okay, there was a player on Ohio State who he refused to go to class. No bullshit. Like, he refused. He said, "I'm not going. Like, I'm not doing that. I literally came here to play school. I'm not going to class." There was a staff member whose job was to make sure that this player went to class every single day. He picked him up. He took him to class. He waited outside the class. Once he was done with class, he drove him to study hall. And for a whole time that he was at Ohio State, he made sure he went to class. He made sure he went back to study hall. He made sure that he went back and forth every single day for every single class he had. He made sure that he went. He went sometimes and got this dude out of bed and said, "Throw on some clothes. I'm taking you to class." And he did that. And this was for a player who I wouldn't even consider a star. He was just a contributor on the basketball team. So how in the hell, Jawan and staff, do you not make sure that Doug McDaniel is eligible? You do whatever you can. And I'm talking about whatever you can. I don't care if you got to have Jace take his goddamn test. Make him eligible. It is baffling to me that you can let one of your players be ineligible, and especially your star player be ineligible. Find a way. But it all goes back to Jawan doesn't want to do, he doesn't want to do the little things. He doesn't want to do the press conferences. He doesn't want to do the things with, the schmooze the administration, smooth the boosters and make sure guys get into school. He doesn't want to do the extra stuff. This is part of the extra stuff. But to me, this is just like, that you're struggling and you want to make it worse for you. It's like, it's incompetent to have Doug McDaniel be ineligible as a staff and as a coach.
It's Will Buford, wasn't it?
It was not Will Buford.
Damn. Sam Thompson?
Not Sam Thompson.
I love both those guys, for the record. Okay, yeah. We say this all the time. It's not hard to do the bare minimum. It's not hard to be a good person. That's one of our favorites. It's not hard to get all D's. Like, come on, what are we doing here? Like, literally doing the bare minimum, even at a school like Michigan, which claims academic superiority. It's just not hard. It's like, you can be a horrible student and you're eligible. There's a reason, like, this is so rare. Who's the last basketball player anywhere that's been academically ineligible for a whole season, let alone a star player on a Big Ten? It doesn't happen. It does not happen, except it does happen at Jawan Howard's Michigan program. And Jawan Howard, man, he just hasn't operated like a guy who cares about this job at all. And then, like, when it really gets down to it and people start being like, "Oh, he might lose his job," then all of a sudden he starts acting like he really cares about the job. Like, verbally, he's like, "Oh, no, I'm back from the heart thing. Now I can coach again." Like right after people were like, oh, he hit Sanderson, he should probably stop. Like, I wish the action would be backed up year round with him, and it's not. And look, man, I just think there's a lot of different stuff we could go through. And a lot of people like to make excuses for the guy. And in fact, Cart, if you don't mind, I'd like to pretend that I'm one of those Michigan fans that makes excuses for him for the next 60 seconds. Is that okay with you?
Please. Oh,
Okay.
please.
So let me put, I don't have a hat on. Oh, I have a hat. Here, I'll put this hat on. This is my Jawan Howard defender hat. It's on, okay? So in my personal opinion, Cart, when Jawan swiped at Joel Krabenhoft, that was Krabenhoft's fault. When Jawan was blindsided by Caleb Houston and Musa Diabate declaring for the draft, that was Caleb Houston and Musa Diabate's fault. When Terrence Shannon Jr. didn't get admitted into Michigan, that was Terrence Shannon Jr. and Mark Adams' fault. When Jet Howard missed box outs, that was nobody's fault. That was actually just an accident. When last year's team didn't make the NCAA tournament, that was the player's fault. When Hunter Dickinson left for more money at a better program, that was Hunter Dickinson's fault. When Caleb left, didn't get admitted into Michigan, that was Caleb Love's fault. When Jawan got a technical at the Battle for Atlantis, even though he wasn't coaching, that was the ref's fault. When Jawan and Sanderson got in a practice altercation, that was Sanderson's fault. The reason the media hates Jawan, well, it's the media's fault. They just don't like him. They hold grudges. It's unfair. Dug McDaniel not meeting minimum academic eligibility standards, that's Dug McDaniel's fault. I don't really see how Jawan could do anything better. Like, none of this is his fault. It's just a crazy string of bad luck for a guy who really cares, right? Like, come on. How stupid do you want us to be here? It all comes back to one guy not doing his job. Every single one of these problems comes back to one guy doing a horrible job at his job. So it's done. It's done. I said it last video. I'm going to keep screaming it for the rest of the season because I have to watch this miserable basketball program. It's done. Get him out. Get him out now. I hope they do it at the end of the season, but get him out now. Cut bait. Let Doug McDaniel make a decision on who the new coach is. That's the number one. I don't care. If Doug has a 0.3 GPA, he's out the rest of the year, still want him in Ward Manuel's office. He gets to call the shots going forward. It's our only hope. And on a selfish note, the only thing that I was looking forward to, I've said it all along, the only thing I looked forward to with this bad team was at least be fun. At least I get 20 more games of Doug McDaniel, right? Thanks, Jawan Howard.
Thanks.
Like, thank you for taking the one thing that Michigan fans could look forward to and shitting on it and taking it away from us. And yeah, it's Doug's fault too. Like, come on, Doug. I love it. I bought your t-shirt, Doug. Like, can I get a refund? But at the same time, Cart, not to defend my guy, but at the same time, like, it's not like there's any A's, B's, or C's in Doug McDaniel.
Wow, really?
There's not.
There's no A, B's, or C's
In Doug McDaniel.
There's multiple.
Oh, sorry. I was on Doug grade stuff for a second. That's on me. I don't, that's on me. Let's just move on. Can we end with this? I've made a formal list of all my coaching candidates. Can we do that?
No, please.
Okay. So I have a list. This is my list of Michigan basketball head coaching candidates. It starts with guys you simply have to make say no. What I want from you, Carter, I want you to just go one by one through these guys and essentially tell me whether or not this person would say yes to the Michigan job. Just give me a yes or no answer. Say yes if they would take the job. Say no if they would not. Coaches that you have to make say no. Tom Izzo.
He would say no.
I think Tom Izzo's got to be your first phone call, though. You got to make him say no. And then we'll go from there. Coach K.
No.
John Shire.
No.
Roy Williams.
No.
Bill Self.
No.
John Calipari.
How long is this? No.
Jay Wright.
No.
Mark Few.
No.
Billy Donovan.
No.
Trilly Donovan.
No.
Those are the guys you got to make say no at a minimum.
Wait. Actually, Billy Donovan might say yes.
Well, just keep appeasing me by saying no to like the next 10 I say as well. Okay.
Got it.
That's category one coaches you have to make say no, those 10 guys.
Okay.
Category two car is coaches that, let's be honest, these guys would all say yes. It's just like, do we really want to give them the number that it takes? Yes or no? First phone call in this category. Gotta be Bob Huggins.
No.
Chris Beard.
No.
Mark Adams.
No.
Nate Oates.
No.
Brad Underwood.
No.
Will Wade.
No.
Okay. Well, shit. Now I'm into category three. Good backup options. If everybody actually says no, which isn't going to happen, let's be real. But if everybody says no up to this point, good backup options. Chris Webber.
No.
Jalen Rose.
No.
Jimmy King.
No.
Ray Jackson.
Maybe?
Rob Pelinka.
Yes.
Damn. So I don't get to do my final few categories then.
Actually, no.
Still no? Okay.
No.
I have three more categories. The fourth category is Ed Cooley. This is the Ed Cooley category. Ed Cooley.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's sorry.
No.
There's two names in the Ed Cooley category. Ed Cooley.
No.
Tim English. Okay. All right. So we like the Ed Cooley category. So we like the Ed Cooley category. Good to know. Second final category. If we really have to, fine. John Beeline.
No.
Patrick Beeline.
No.
John Sanderson.
No.
Luke Yaklich.
No.
Okay, the final category is the actual hire. You ready for this?
Who is it?
Dane Fife. If that's really what it comes down to, right? Like just save the program, man. I quit, Cart. I quit.
I'm so disgusted at that you put time into that list.
Subscribe to Sleepers Media for 3 more months of this misery. Doug, I will do the work for you this year.
You put more work into that list than Doug's put in the classroom all semester.